Welcome to the Sentinel Week 8 High School Football Preview. I'm Perry Mattern alongside Jake Adams per usual. And let's get to the Week 8 games here in the Midstate. Chambersburg at Carlisle, Jake, to start things off, and the Carlisle Thundering Herd looking to get back to 500.
Yeah, and if they do so, right now they're sitting only two outside of three Quad A in the Division 3. So if they can get this win, because afterwards it's CD East and Harrisburg, that would do wonders for them.
Pretty big one here just to take care of business. Susquehanna Township at Cedar Cliff, the Colts coming off a tough loss against Bishop McDevitt last week, a game that took 2 days to play, and they ended up losing by 16 despite getting plenty of yards. The defense wasn't so great here, and if you're Colin Gillen, the head coach for the Colts, you want that defense to rebound a little bit because the Indians can move the ball.
And I think, unfortunately, Susquehanna is coming into this game at the wrong time because Cedar Cliff's going to want to bounce back in a big way. Do the math here, 38 points per game Cedar Cliff is scoring. Susquehanna is allowing 36.4 a game. Doesn't bode well for the Indians.
Should be plenty of fireworks there at West Shore Stadium on Friday night. Redland at Mechanicsburg, the Wildcats 2-5, still have a chance to get back to 500, which would do them wonders in the district playoff race, but this is a tough one that they have to get.
Yeah, Redland obviously is trying to stay as high up as they can in 3 AAA. They're number 3, I believe, right now. Redland still jockeying for position there. McDevitt, Cedar Cliff on the docket for them. And those are going to be 2 games that they're probably going to split there or at best. So this could be a big win for them.
Milton Hershey at West Perry, the Mustangs are still looking for that first win, and now they get possibly the best team in the capital.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because West Perry is the only team in the Mid-Penn allowing 40 points per game. Milton Hershey's not exactly a Cedar Cliff that's going to run the score up, but they have plenty of offense. For West Perry, Jacob Owens, 2 receiving touchdowns in the past 3 weeks. They would like to get him a third to have a chance.
He really has been a bright spot for the Mustangs this year. Trinity at Steel High, Shamrock's still looking for their first road win of the year, and boy, would it be a good time for them.
Yeah, because right now they're sitting right on the bubble in 3 AA, number 8, and there's only 8 teams that make it. A win here would do wonders because they got Camp Hill and Milton Hershey coming up next, and that's going to be some really tough sledding for them, as being 2 of the top teams in this division. If they win here, they at least give themselves a little bit of a cushion. 2
of the top District 3 3A teams, Bishop McDevitt against East Pennsboro. East Penn was really up there until their loss last week to Waynesboro. Meanwhile, McDevitt's still undefeated, and we're going to find out how good the Panthers are this week.
Yeah, this could either be one of those games where it's the worst timing possible for them coming off a loss, or the best timing possible, because they're going to have to be challenged and they're going to have to step up. If we see them step up, that's a good sign for them going into the last 2 weeks of the season and into the postseason, assuming they stay inside. If they don't step up and McDevitt rolls over them, you got to start asking questions about this team.
I think if you're the Panthers, as a fan, you don't say this as a player to stay within, but if they can keep that within 3 touchdowns, I honestly think that's a win for them in that situation.
As long as they can stay out of that 15 or 16 spot in 3 AAA, they should be okay, because then they don't face them again.
Right. Greencastle at Northern. Greencastle now all of a sudden back in the Colonial race. Meanwhile, Northern hanging on for dear life. With a tough schedule coming up at the end of the year.
They need to go minimum 2-1 from here on out if they want any shot of sneaking into the postseason. They've got Lower Dauphin and East Pennsboro next, not to look too far ahead, but this might be their easiest game out of those 3, and that's saying a lot because Greencastle's pretty tough.
Very good on defense are the Blue Devils. Susquehanna at Williams Valley, and the Blackhawks have had a couple of good chances to get their first win. They have not, and now they get into the meat of their Tri-Valley League schedule.
Yeah, and it's kind of a mirror of what the season started. They started out with some of the toughest teams in this division. It turns out a couple teams in the top half. Now they're finishing up with 3 teams that are all in the top 6, I believe, in the Tri-Valley. Juniata, Upper Dauphin coming up next. And that doesn't bode well for them trying to get a win. It would be a huge shocker if they do. Their only hope is Week 11, them and West Perry might be an 0-10 matchup going in trying to find out one win.
Central Dauphin and Cumberland Valley is our first key game this week, and that will take place at Cumberland Valley, Chapman Field. And the Eagles have bounced back since a 28-0 loss to CD East earlier in the year. Meanwhile, the Rams have just continued to be one of the best teams in the district.
Yeah, and that's no surprise with this division, because if we look at Quad A and Division 3, 4 of those teams, Harrisburg, CV, both Central Dolphins, are inside the top 13. This is a stacked division, and that's not a surprise by any means.
No doubt.
But they've got CD, I think you can make the argument, is slightly better than their brethren over in CD East. Slightly more points per game, slightly fewer points allowed per game. CV, I don't expect to be shut out like they did against CD East, But this is going to be tough, and it's going to come down to, again, Tim Spinelli, and we keep saying it, but he's their do-everything guy.
Right, and they're going to need more offense than just 14 points. You expect you're going to need to get at least in the 20s to hang with Central Dauphin on this Friday night. Camp Hill at Boiling Springs, a very good Capital matchup. The Lions didn't start out their Capital slate the way they wanted to, but now they've gotten back into things with a couple of wins in a row. And let's see what this high-powered offense can do against a very good Bubbler defense.
And for as good as Camp Hill has been, Boiling Springs may be the hottest team right now in that division. They beat Milton Hershey, who Camp Hill lost to earlier.
Right.
So they've got that inside edge because Milton Hershey's the one, kind of leading this division right now. Boiling Springs, if they win this, they stay right there. If Camp Hill wins this, they get to at least stay in the mix. Boiling Springs, neither one of them can afford a loss in terms of the division slate. Neither one of them can needs to avoid a loss with districts right now. Camp Hill slipped down to 3 out of the 4 teams that make it in Single A. A loss here would hurt. But this is going to be a fun game because look at the running backs.
It really is. It really is. John Vaughn and Bill Williams. And when you talk about the Capital, it's just so crazy. Camp Hill whooped up on Palmyra. Palmyra beat Boiling Springs. And Boiling Springs beat Milton Hershey, who beat Camp Hill. How do you figure this out?
Yeah.
We don't know who to pick in this game, and we actually split on it.
Yeah.
I took the Bubblers, and you took the Lions. Our game of the week, the battle for the Little Brown Jug, that will be happening in Newville at Big Spring High School. Shippensburg will be there, of course, to battle against the rivals. The Greyhounds playing great football right now, Jake. And meanwhile, Big Spring has just been on a tailspin ever since a 2-0 start, and we'll see what happens in the rivalry game.
And it's, again, same thing as last year almost. It feels like they're just reliving a nightmare. But if there's any game we're going to see Big Spring's A game, it's this one. They want desperately to get the Little Brown Jug back. Shippensburg knows this. It's going to be heated. It always is. It always will be. It will be fun, and I'm sure the score is going to be a lot closer than on paper this looks like.
I would assume with these two teams, especially with Shippensburg involved, it's going to probably be pretty low scoring. It's just a matter of, can Big Spring generate some offense?
Yes, they need to get at least into the teens. This running game has stalled of late. Shippensburg's linebackers are starting to find their groove, and I saw that last week against Northern. They made big play after big play and allowed Northern to get nothing going, really.
And also shut down a Waynesboro team that is pretty good a couple of weeks ago as well. And with the Little Brown Jug game on tap, we got a chance to talk with Big Spring head coach Mike Berry about his preparation for Friday's game.
We're here with Coach Mike Berry from Big Spring. Coach, it's obviously been a tough year for you guys record-wise. I mean, what have you been trying to do to keep things going for this team?
Well, we started off pretty good. We were 2-0, and we lost that Boiling Springs game that kind of hurt us. And then throughout the division play, we played Greencastle tough, played James Buchanan. First half didn't play very well at all, and I think we played the way that we could in the second half. And we beat them in the second half, but that doesn't do us any good because we didn't win the game. We're just trying to keep things a little bit loose here. Still working on the fundamentals a little bit here and there, but we got to get ready for our game still. So, there's things that we do offensively and defensively that could definitely get better, and we keep on trying to do that and show the kids it on film and then go out and do it on the practice field.
Obviously for them, for Shippensburg, they've got a great linebacking core, great front seven that's been stepping up of late. What do you guys got to do offensively with the way you guys have struggled too to try and counter that?
Yeah, they definitely have made leaps and bounds. We played Dover week 2, they played Dover week 1, so we were able to see that game, and they have certainly made some changes, made some adjustments, and have gotten better over the time. We are in a position where, we're going to try to mix some things up here and there. We had some success on offense when it comes to that against Redland, not getting any touchdowns, but moving the football a little bit better than we have in the past couple of weeks. Defensively, kind of sticking to our guns. We're going to try to play as best coverage as we can. We got beat deep a couple different times here and there in the past couple of games. So secondary, we got to shore that up. And in all honesty, we just got to do the basics better. Defensively, our linebackers are getting to the play. Got to wrap up, drive our feet, stay on our feet, and make the tackle. And we haven't done that very well in the last couple games. So just some of those basic things will probably help us out on Friday.
All right, our Sentinel stars, and let's go back to Camp Hill where you have Michael Hope.
Yeah, Hope's, what else can we say about this guy? Tight end, he's up there in basically every statistical category.
He's not really a tight end anymore.
He does just about everything they could possibly ask for him. with Bill Williams there, he's going to be getting the attention, I feel like. Bowling Springs, I feel like, is going to focus a little bit more on him this week, and that might allow Hope to kind of sneak through the back door a little bit. Even though he's obviously on their radar, it might just be enough lack of attention to break him open.
We'll see what that front seven does for Boiling Springs. If they shut down Williams early, you'd expect Camp Hill to go to the air. I went back to Mechanicsburg for my pick in Shaheem Brown. I'm going to take him against the Patriots of Redland. And Brown and also his quarterback Tyler Schubert need to have big games for Mechanicsburg to hang with the Patriots.
Yeah, Brown has been their most steady option there. He's been doing this for years. Redlands knows what to expect from him, obviously, but he's going to need to have a big game because, like we've said, Mechanicsburg's only hope is to win out here, and it's going to come down to his legs and his shoulders carrying this team.
Should be a pretty good. That's not a huge rivalry, but it still gets pretty heated. That one will take place at John Frederick Field in Mechanicsburg on Friday night. On Monday, we will name our 3 Sentinel stars based on these stats, not just who we picked, and then also recap all of the games. As for tomorrow, in the Friday paper, you can pull out the football tab and get all our information, including our cover story on recruiting. We'll talk to you on Monday.